So now that we've discussed how to quickly set up the picoscope by first selecting your probe, second setting your voltage range, and third by setting your time scale, now once you have the waveform, we need to figure out how to analyze that waveform and actually look at the detail of what we're looking at. So right now on the waveform that we're looking at on the screen, the sample is kind of jumping all over the place. There's a couple ways we can gather this. We can do a trigger, or we can slow this down and capture this a whole bunch of times on the screen. So what we're going to do is I'm going to stop this, and right now we are sampling at 5 milliseconds per division, which is fairly quick. So in order to slow this down, is we want to increase the amount of time that's on the screen. So right now we're at 5 milliseconds, so a total of 50 milliseconds. And we're going to go here and we're going to go with 2 seconds per division, which will give us 10 seconds across the screen. I'm sorry, 20 seconds. And we are going to go ahead and let's see if we get this thing to sample for us. Okay. So now each one of these spikes is our injector waveform, and instead of it jumping all over the place, we're capturing it many times on one screen. So now that we've got that, we can come back in here, and now we can use some of our zoom features to go in and look at this waveform. One of the first ones you can use is this 1x button here. We can simply click the right button, and it will bring up this little zoom overview. And you'll notice this square that's highlighted here. This is the picture that we're seeing right here. And as we zoom this in, it gets a little bit narrower, and we're going to horizontally zoom on this. So we can keep going in, and then we get greater and greater detail. Now you'll notice that as we are zooming in, the detail actually is going away as we get closer. And the reason for that is we have a really low sampling rate in order to on this waveform. So the sampling rate is right here. So right now we are taking a picture or sampling every 100,000 times per second, which sounds really fast, but when you're going in to get detail, it's not quick enough. So in order to, when we slow down our waveform by increasing the time frame, we also need to increase the sample rate. So we're going to try this again. We're going to close this down, and we're going to increase our sample rate now. And we're just going to go up to about 6 million samples per second, which is significantly faster. And we are going to start another capture. Now, you'll notice the difference here. We've got our waveform has nice, even peaks here, meaning that we're taking a good sample picture of this. We're going to stop this. This demo sometimes has glitches in it. There, it's catching up now. We're going to now zoom in on this now that we've had a chance to look at this with a little bit higher sampling rate. And we can already see that we are getting a little bit better detail here. So as we zoom in, we are getting what looks like a good waveform. And we can grab this and scroll it around back and forth to get us closer where we want to be on our screen here as we go across. So that's one way. If you want to go back to 100%, you can either close out of that, or you can always hit the 100 button, and that will take us back to original settings. Another feature that I like is on this arrow button, you can actually go in here and find a spot on the waveform, and right here it says that we are at 2.791 volts, and it gives us our seconds as well as when that capture happened. Another thing we can do, another way that I prefer to zoom in, is with this magnifying glass. And with this one, we left click and hold the mouse button down, highlight the area that we want to look at, and then it goes in, and we can keep highlighting the waveform or whatever we want to get closer and closer. And we can get really close on one little feature. So it's pretty amazing.